Hello, 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 and welcome to Mythology Madness Minotaur painting session number 2. Uh, I have got to stop taking such long breaks in between painting because I'm almost forgot where I left off on this thing. But we'll jump into it nonetheless. So we've got our Minotaur sketch that we got down on the board. This is 100% cotton paper. It's one that I'm trying. It's a new one, not a new one out on the market, but a new one to me that I'm trying to see how it takes the paint. So far, I really like the way the texture and the smoothness is coming out. So no complaints so far. But I also haven't started to, you know, blend anything or try to do some gradients or washes or anything. So we'll see how that goes. Um, so we got our basic sketch down. I did the green wash, and then I did a crimson red wash for the Minotaur, and then I went in and got in the deep shadows. I missed one right here. I'm not even really sure how I missed that one. It's like right in the middle. So I'm going to touch that one up real quick. This is the palette so far. All I've got is a little bit of green that I use for the wash, some of the red I use for the wash, and then the crimson and black that I use for the deep shadows. So I'm going to just activate that a little bit and see how it goes down on the paper. I can always come back a little bit thicker if I need to or if I want to. Uh, but that's the goal to start off with, is just finish up this shadow here and then go more into the the next tone. Dynamite Kick, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I need to get a little more water. I'll be back in 15 seconds here. So I'm using gouache, and I'm using a mixture of Arteza and whole bean gouache. The whole bean are my favorite. Uh, that's what I'll be switching over to as the Arteza gouache runs out. I've tried the Artezas, which has a good range of selection of colors, but I don't use most of them. I've tried the whole bean, I've tried the Winsor Newton, and I tried the M Graham. I like them all, but definitely the whole bean is my favorite. I really love I call it the creaminess of it. So let me see by just reactivating if this is going. Oh yeah, just a little reactivation on the palette. This is one of the reasons why I love working with gouache. I can let it dry, and all I had to do is dip my paintbrush in a little water, mix it on the palette, and it reactivates that water, that paint right away. So I just finished this one up because I forgot to paint this one here. So I'm wondering, so normally I've been painting on gesso board and canvas panel board, and it's real, it's not too hard to get some nice washes and gradients in the paint there because they kind of sit on top. Since I'm using cotton paper, the paper absorbs the paint a little bit more. So I'm wondering how it's going to behave as I get into the areas where I want to do some blending and some gradients. But I am looking forward to it. And I just realized I said the bin was loaded, but I did not load the bin. So I should, well, I'll load it here in a minute while I All right, so that's I was missing that shadow. Um, so next up, I want to take the crimson red with a little bit of violet, and I want to start hitting some of the next level shadows. A little bit more red and a lot lighter than this to start getting some tones that create form and shape on the picture. But I want to stay in the reds. Choco Bro, what's happening? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. 7779311. Uh, so I'm going to use crimson red and a little bit of violet, and I'm only going to need just a touch of the violet to get the tone that I want. I think I don't want to overwhelm the red. This is a Red Bull. I had a Red Bull and I rely on Red Bull. Ooh, oh man, I gotta start taking care of my caps better. I forget to clean off the tubes a little bit, and then the paint gets hard and stuck on me, and it gets hard to open them up. I must take better care of my paints. So this is going to be a little hard because I really want to be careful not to go too dark. And I know this violet will take over really quick if I let it. So, uh, and I also don't want an ugly color. All right, so I think I've got something good going here. The tone is right, and the color is pretty decent. I like that. I think that'll look good. Duke Comic Art, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. All right, so now I want to hit the next level of I'm going to start right here in the middle and just kind of see what it looks like. And this is probably the wrong brush to be doing this. I should probably have gone with a smaller brush, but that's okay. And oh yeah, I like that color. That's a really nice red. It's it's going to dry a little bit lighter, so I'm okay with that. I think that'll work out pretty good. And again, I'll see how it blends with the on this paper now. You know, does it just sit on top, or does it actually give me a nice gradient that I can work into? But the color looks really nice. I'm very happy with the color. Um, I probably could have gone with a. Oh yeah, I like that. That's cool. I usually try to go with these areas that are a little more inconspicuous, so that if I didn't like it, I could change it before I start doing some of the larger areas. Um, this is going to be so my light. This is one of my stickers I use for light to remind me that the light's coming down from this side over here. And so I could really, and I've got my photo reference that I used, took a picture of myself actually. And I think right up under the chin here, I can go with this color. So we'll see what that looks like under there. I'm also wondering, I know that when I'm using the canvas panel board, I need a thicker paint. And on this cotton paper, I think I can get away with a little bit thinner paint because it's not as thick as the canvas panel. but I think that'll be, and actually I'll come out more like that. Okay. And then this is going to sweep up over into that first deltoid. So, did anybody have any cool trips this summer or great adventures? I went to Tucson with some family and friends and spent a week out there, and it was absolutely fantastic. I love the West, and I went with my sister and some friends from my local comic shop, and we had a blast. We had such a blast. For me, the highlight was definitely going to visit Old Tombstone. Um, I had been there before, but last time I was there, I just kind of went through. I didn't really take the time to see any of the shows. And this time, we went to a lot of the shows. We did some shopping. We went to the local restaurant there, had some great food. I had a Black Angus burger, and I haven't eaten beef or steak in so long. I was a little bit worried on how my stomach was going to take it, and that burger was absolutely delicious. I was glad I got it. Um, but it was a great trip. I used to live out in Arizona. I've lived in Tucson as well as Phoenix. I love them both. I like Tucson a little bit better because it's less busy. You get all the amenities of the big city without having to live in the big city. But anytime you want to shoot up to Phoenix and deal with all that traffic and headache, you can go see the professional sports teams, some of the bigger concerts. So it's a good trip. It's a If you like the West, um, Arizona is a great place to visit. Uh, we took a trip out to the reservations. We did air museum. We hiked the canyon. It was just a great trip all the way around. Fun to be had by all. So the paper's taken the paint very well. I can go a little bit watery with it, which means it's going to last a little bit longer than it does on the canvas panel, which is a good thing as well. Um, I'm going to try the glaze and the gradient on this section right up here. This would be the first place I test it out and see how it goes. And to do that, I'm going to go with a little bit more water, and I'm just going to bring it down and see how it blends into the existing darker color and see how it dries. And this is, I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but the color looks really nice. It looks really, really nice. What else? Uh, Hiking the canyon out west was a great time as well. I'm gonna put a little bit under here, even though I'm probably gonna cover that up because that is the light side. But I do want, again, I want to see how it behaves under that. Well, what was I talking about? So we hiked Sabino Canyon. We did a 4.5 mile hike through the canyon. I really enjoy hiking out west. Arizona is a little bit different. So when I've done hiking in places like Colorado and California, I love it. But hiking out in the Arizona area is a little bit different because you can't really go off trail. Like in Colorado, you can go off trail, but in Arizona, you can't really go off trail because off trail is full of cacti, and those things will jack you up really bad. Uh, One of my friends, it was a couple, and the guy was like, he told me, he's like, I guarantee you, my wife touches a cactus. And I was like, why would she touch a cactus? That makes no sense at all. He's like, trust me, she's going to touch a cactus. Sure enough, she touches the cactus on purpose, just reaches over and just like feels it and gets splinters. I'm like, really? Why would you touch a cactus? She was like, I don't know. I just didn't, I thought it'd be soft. Oh man, I was like, wow, dude. He's like, I know my wife. Vulture season 3. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We're just doing some gouache painting, and I'm talking about uh, summer trips. If you did anything exciting this summer, I'd love to hear about it. But I can't say enough about how much I love Tucson, how much I love Arizona. I remember growing up, I told my dad, one day I'm gonna live in Arizona, and he's like, "You've never been to Arizona." I was like, "I know." He's like, "Then what makes you think you want to go to Arizona?" I was like, "I don't know. I just do." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And sure enough, when I was in the Air Force, my second duty station was Arizona, and I fell in love with it. Um, and have lived out there a couple of times. So uh, it's been a blast. This color is looking really nice. It is almost like a regal red because I'm using crimson red, and then I mixed it with a little violet. So it's coming through fairly nice. And the paper, for the first time of me using it, I am very satisfied with the paper. I'm trying a couple of different things with it, um, just to kind of see how it's different painting on the cotton paper versus the canvas panel board. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I am indeed enjoying it. This past weekend, I went up to St. Augustine, Florida, to Ancient City Comic or Ancient City Convention, Ancient City Con, and I do a lot of comic conventions for the comic books that I do, but I do a lot of fantasy and science fiction, and so paintings like this here. And so I was doing a comic convention a couple of years ago, and the organizers were there, and they're like, "Hey, you should check out our convention. We think you would like having a table at our convention." And so I was like, "Well, when I get a chance, I'll come check it out." And so this year I had a chance to go check it out, and I must say it was a really nice convention. They put on a very good show. Um, Definitely not the superhero show that a lot of conventions are, and which is cool, uh, because I don't mind that at all. And it was really nice. I had a great time. I saw a lot of friends, and who had tables there, and I was like, "Oh wow, do you normally get a table here?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so I was like, "Well, tell me about it." And they were like, they tell me how they normally do and the crowd that comes in. And I was like, "Oh wow." And they're like, "Oh, you should definitely think about bringing your art to the show." And I was like, I think I will. So next year, I'm going to apply to get a table. I'm also going to apply to do a panel uh, on launching a brand new comic. Me and my friends, we are in year 3 or 4 of launching our comic book series, and they've been doing pretty good. Premium P, what's happening? Thanks for stopping by. I'm definitely going to have to go on some, the way this painting is going. I really feel like I'm going to have to hit the highlights kind of hard to kind of offset these these deep reds, um, and give some good contrast, and hopefully give some shape and volume to turning the form so that it doesn't look flat. That's one of the things that I've been trying to get better at, is making sure that the pieces don't look flat, that they have some volume to them. And that's also been some feedback from some of the people who I've asked for their critiques. Some instructors in the art world. So I like take that feedback to heart, and I'm going to try to do better. What the heck is that? And it's layering pretty good on this paper. It's layering. I don't know if it's necessarily blending. So like this area up here, the new color just kind of laid on top of the old, and so I may have to do some water glazes on the next one. Right in here, I'll try just a straight water glaze and see how it comes out. Um, because that's what this is all about. Is I always want to make a good painting for sure, but I also want to push some of the boundaries that and norms that I'm used to, and get better, make better products. And the only way to do that is to push it. Um, hmm. I'm a little confused at some of my reference here, but I'll go with it. I don't know why, although I guess it's going to make sense when it looks right in the reference. Um, like I said, I used myself for photo reference, uh, and The head, although I don't have a Minotaur head, I've got a regular human head. Although I think it would be really cool if I could, like, the Incredible Hulk gets mad and turn, or Bruce Banner gets mad and turn to Hulk. I think it'd be really cool if I could turn into a Minotaur. I think that would just be bomb ass. People be like, "Oh my god, don't make Brad mad. He turns into a freaking Minotaur." Be like, "Yeah, don't make me mad." At first, I was just thinking I was going to do one color tonight, but this is going so well. I don't know if I'm going to do two or not. And the paper is really taken to the color very well. I am actually enjoying it more than the canvas panel, which I didn't think I would, to be completely honest. I didn't think I would. Okay, that's looking good. I think that elbow could use a little darkness. And then the head. Get a little more purple in there. Oh yeah. I got too much paint on here now. Let me clean up my brush a little bit. It's got a little bit too gunky. I'm losing my point. I can definitely see a lot of areas I'm gonna have to figure out, because I'm just doing color blocking right now, and I can see a lot of areas where I'm gonna have to go back and do some detail work, which is fine. That's the part of the process. Sorry for being too quiet on that section right there. I didn't really want to mess up that eye. And the muzzle is really what's going to make this piece come alive. Anytime you do the face, that's really the goal there, is to draw attention to the face. Anytime you have a head or face, it's going to be a focal point for anybody looking at it. I mean, we just, as people, we're drawn to the face or head of a creature Okay, I like that. That's looking good. I do want to give a little character to the face right here. Just kind of scoped it in. And because I can tell now that this layers pretty well, I'm going to try a couple of techniques and see how it goes. I'm going to try something right there on this belly. Get in my belly. I keep saying it, but this color came out really nice. I'm wondering what I'm going to do next. All right, I think that's good for what I want to do next. Maybe if I come in here just a little bit. And then under here. And then drift it off into there. I like that. That looks cool. The legs look good. I can see a couple of areas where I missed. So I'll come back and see what that looks like. All right, I think that's good on the second level here. So what I want to do is I want to try a little water glaze right there and see how it works. It's probably not the best area to do it, to be honest. Right in the middle of the torso. I'll do it on the leg. I'll do it on the leg. Just see how it. So if I just wanted to try to glaze that down just a little bit. And I'll see how that. Actually, I probably need to have a little bit of paint on there, more water, and just kind of glaze over with a little paint and a lot of water. And I'll see how that dries and what it looks like. Okay, so the next color that I don't want to go highlights yet, and I want to go closer to the natural crimson. Um, so I'm going to go with a lot more crimson and just a smidgen of the violet. This is going to be a little hard because I don't want to uh, just a smidgen, just enough to knock the crimson down just a little bit and give me a pretty decent local color. That one might be a little bit too red. Just go another smidgen. Oh, that might be too much. Take some of it off. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good. I like that color. Okay, I think this is a good color. So a little bit lighter without going straight crimson. My brush is kind of caked, so let me finish that, clean that up a little bit. I think this next color is going to be pretty nice. It's going to be a good transition. Debo327, what's happening? All right, got a fresh brush now, nice and clean. And this color is going to be one step closer to local color. Still on the shadow side. So I'm going to start it right here under the arm and see what it looks like. I gotta say, I'm loving this paper already. I am loving this paper. Cotton paper for paint handles a lot better than Bristol board. And this brand is the first time I'm trying this brand, and it is going to make the cut. There's two or three different brands that I use. Well, there's two. I think this one's going to make number three because I do like the way it's turning out. Um, I just hope I mixed enough of this color because it is coming out pretty nice. So this year I didn't do a bunch of conventions. I shouldn't say I didn't do a bunch. I only did one convention for the year, and I'm not I don't love doing conventions, but they're fun. They can be fun. They're definitely necessary to kind of spread the word on your work. Oh man, what's happening here? Am I getting too dry? Okay, I was getting some dry brush effect there, but it came out pretty nice. So it's nice to know that I can get some nice dry brush effect. Something else that goes in the arsenal. Okay, and I think right under the horn here is a good place for this. And there's an ear there, so I got to be careful to save some trade space for the ear. I definitely think uh, I've got a good trio of dark shadow colors, which are going to lead to some pretty nice contrast. So I'm happy about that. I think that can come down a little bit there. I thought I mixed enough. I mean, I think maybe maybe it's not. There we go. I feel like this batch is drying up too fast. And I think I can come around this one. I think I'm gonna save that head. I'm not gonna mess with it too much more tonight, as I put my big fat head in the way. Yep, I am putting my big fat head in the way. I saw the tip of my glasses kind of crowd the room there, or they crowd the camera, I should say, which really just means I have my lights adjusted wrong. There we go. There we go. All right. That's better. Definitely a nice color. Getting some good looks in. I could probably have gone with less color. Um, Probably. Oh yeah, this is coming out pretty good. And how we doing on time? Oh, doing great on time. Oh my God. I thought I was moving too slow, but I'm actually doing pretty good on time. So thank you all for hanging out. All right, that looks good. I'm going to get a little bit right there on that leg. If I do it right, some of those dark creases are going to just show as nice folds, or crease lines, I should say, not folds. If I do it wrong, well, then I can always paint it over it. That's the great part about paint. You can always paint over it if you don't like it. Okay. And on the other leg, I want to hit this side over here. If I if this color dries pretty good, no, it's not the right local color. A little bit lighter is what I'm going to need for the local color. So I won't try to force this to be the local color. The next color will need to be the local, which is where I'll paint the majority of everything left. And then I'll come in with my highlights after that. And the way this paint is sitting on top of each other, I think it'll be really nice when I put the highlights over the local. I think it's going to come in really nice. And then depending on how, actually, the little area that I glazed right here is drying pretty nice. It's kind of drying the way I want it to. I'm digging it. So that's cool. Um, I think I can use this on a lot of the fingers because this hand is, a lot of it's in shadow. So if I keep track of where the highlights are going to be, I think I can make it look really nice. Happy Thursday night. Thursday night is my fantasy art painting night where I try to do work on a fantasy art piece. The last piece was a group of Cyclops forging the Thunderbolt for Zeus, which I really like the way that project came out. Um, and then this one is a Minotaur, which is really what I try to specialize in, is Minotaur, because they are based on my fantasy art game, tabletop role playing game, Lords of the Labyrinth. And so I've designed over 100 Minotaur, giving them different looks and different personalities, um, to make the game a little more exciting. Not every Minotaur, in my opinion, and in my world, I think we should say in my opinion, in my world, Minotaur are just like humans. They have personalities, they have different traits, they're not all the same. Um, so I try to create different Minotaur and give them backgrounds and personalities and traits to give them some unique perspective on the world. So when people encounter them, they encounter them like they encounter people. Everybody's different. Every Minotaur is different. Their goals and needs are different. They have different jobs uh, in my world. And that's always fun, creating the backstory for the Minotaur and, what they do, what their goals are, and what they want out of it. But since it's a tabletop role playing game, in the big scheme of things, the game master, takes that description and does what he wants or what she wants with the Minotaur. This guy here has caught a soldier who's going to be hiding in the bushes, and he's going to stab him up. This is what he's going to do. He's going to stab him up, plain and simple. And I'm going to make two versions of this. I'm going to have the regular version, and then I'm going to have the blood splatter version. So I think that'll be pretty cool. The painting will not have the blood splatter. I'll do the blood splatter digitally just for the prints. Oh, excuse me while I get something to drink there. Oh, that was good. All right. This is starting to look pretty good. Do I do the local color tonight? Which might just be straight crimson red. I don't know. It's oh, it's not even close to 10 o'clock yet. I'm doing great on time. So I think this is coming out pretty good. I think I can see this arm here is really up in the sun, but it's also covered with the tree. But I think I'll be able to use a lot of local color in that arm. Again, I'm just blocking in color for now. I know I'm gonna have to come through with a detail brush and really clean up some areas, which is cool because I think that's coming in pretty good so far. I think the this cloth is going to be um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be green, and hmm, this paper is. I keep mentioning it, but it is really nice. The paper is really nice, and I've got a nice gradient here, so I'm going to be able to do some nice gradients in some other areas there that I'm looking forward to doing. Do I want to mess with the head a little bit with this color, or do I want to keep the rest? Actually, I'll bring some of that on this side over here, on the opposite sun side. Clean this up a little bit. Definitely, it's going to have some highlights in different areas there. Maybe under the jaw here. No, because that's sun side. Maybe right under here. Yeah, and the muzzle is going to be a little bit brighter. Oh, right there under the eye. That's the part I'm missing. I don't want that to be too bright. I want it framing that dark black bullseye. Sun. I could do the ear because the ear sits under the horn, so I can really do something nice with the ear here too. Okay. The rest of actually, yeah, the rest of that'll be local color, um, local color there. Although here I can maybe give a little shadow, form that form those muscles coming together. And then local color against the side and on the pec. Right up under there, that really shouldn't be too bright. Right up under there. As well as here. Even though the way I lit my reference photo, because I used a secondary light source, I'll use that'll be highlighted a little bit, but it won't be super bright. And this leg gets this piece, this leg gets here with the secondary. Right up in here, I should probably put that in shadow just a little bit. Again, I wanted to, in the end, I want to create volume and shape. And if I do that with the rest of the local color and maybe just, you know, line out the creases a little bit. Okay. I think that's cool. I think that's looking really good. I think that is looking very, very good. And so now, do I go with the straight crimson or is the crimson just too bright? I'm going to have to tone it down just a bit because it is kind of bright. So here's my palette so far, and I've just used the crimson. I used a little bit of black for the deep shadow, and then I use violet for the rest of the shadows to kind of bring it down just a little bit. And so really, if I just go use straight crimson, I'm wondering if that'll give me a decent local color. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and try it and just see what it looks like. It's paint. You can always paint over it. But this is looking very, very good. And I'm doing great on time. It's only been an hour, and I've gotten in 2 rounds of color. So I am going to go with this. I'm going to use it straight out of the tube and see what it looks like. I, I'm thinking it's just going to be a little bit too much, but hey, again, it's just paint. It's just paper. I can cover it up. But the main reason I bring that up is because I still have to do highlights. And so I've got to leave room to go a step up. And I don't want it to be, yeah, it's a little too much. So I am, um, you know what? We'll go with it. Let's just go with it. See what it looks like. I think it needs to be toned down just a little bit, but it's not on the paper yet either. So I don't know. Maybe I did the mixing just right, and this is going to come out nice. So I'm going to do it in an inconspicuous place right here and see what it looks like. That might be okay. That might be okay. So far, so good. Actually, I think this will be really good. Uh, Fresh Ashley, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and do the arm and see what it looks like because this is really going to be the biggest piece of local color right there. And as long if it doesn't look too bodacious on the arm here, it'll be fine all over. Because it doesn't look bad right there on the leg. So we'll see. Oh, what just happened? Oh my God. What just happened here? Unipool is rating. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I didn't even know you were on. I appreciate the raid. How's everybody doing tonight? This is this is a very pleasant surprise. I'm working on a fantasy art painting um, for my Minotaur line. Unipool, who is just the most awesome and sweetest person. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You are a sweetheart. I'll step back for here and let people take it in. I hope you all are enjoying it. And what did you work on tonight, Miss Uni? Were you doing some artwork or you just doing some showcasing of some of the stuff you did? Ooh, oh dang. That's cool. I love to see the live art. I really do. I love watching just the sometimes I'll just scan the airways on whatnot and watch people draw and paint and there's so many fantastic artists on here. It's really good to see artists getting out and doing stuff. Yeah, she's always awesome, and she's like the most fabulous host, the hostess with the mostest. Which has anybody seen? If you heard that alarm, is the new Beetlejuice out? I can't. I don't even know. I know I want to see it, but I don't even know if it's out yet. I live a life of a hermit sometime. I've, uh, the first one that came out, it was so good. I can't remember how many times we saw it, but and then even afterwards, I'm pretty sure we bought the DVD and we watch it every now and then. I'm pretty sure. I know I have it on streaming or not streaming on digital, and it's one of those movies you can pop in and just relax with the family, have a good time. It's just a really cool movie, and of course, Keaton's the bomb. As a Batman fan, I remember when they announced him as Batman, and I was like, "What? He can't do Batman. He's not Batman." And then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, damn, he's a good Batman. He's just a fantastic actor." Who else is are there any other artists on this stream tonight? If you are, or if you have a show, make sure you post your show in the chat and get some visibility while you're here. So anybody that's on here that might have a show, make sure you post it. Yeah, he's a good Batman. Um, Actually, I think I've liked just about everything he's done. Was it Duplicity or Multiplicity, or he's just really great. There's so many great actors. I love the movies. I am a movie buff. I love the movies. I watch several a week. I'm watching a movie right now. I always watch a movie when I paint. I put in a movie in the background. Crazy thing is, I can't turn them up because if I'm recording, then YouTube says you are violating copyright laws, and then they shut my videos down. But the videos I put in, I watch them so much that I don't even need to hear them to know what's going on. But sometimes it's good not to just have the silence. Right now, I am watching Takers with Paul Walker, Idris Elba. Um, Great movie. Uh, I was in the mood for something with a little bit of action to it and a little bit of drama, because I also have to do some writing tonight, and so I wanted to get into a mood. So do you I'm gonna say Leah CK, Lay CK. What do you do on YouTube? What type of show do you do on YouTube? That's the one nut I haven't really cracked. I would say Whatnot has been a godsend, because just sitting here trying to make YouTube videos, I don't like it. But recording this and then just having it post to YouTube is great. No editing involved. Video games, very cool. Oh, it's Lee. Okay. So, what games are we? Minecrafting, World of Warcrafting, um, uh, what kind of games? What's our fancy here? I remember when that became a big thing, and my kids were like, sitting around watching other people play video games. I'm like, we have video game systems you can play, and they're like, oh, we like watching other people. I'm like, oh my god, that is so crazy. Why would you do that when you can play? But then I think back to when I was in college, where we used to all crowd in our dorm room and watch people play video games. And I was like, I get it. It's a modern day dorm room. Dead by Daylight, Fortnite, Overwatch. Oh, nice. I like Overwatch and Fortnite. I'm not sure about Dead by Daylight. I don't know if I've seen or heard of that one. Sounds pretty cool, unless, and it is just going to be my pet peeve. Is it a zombie apocalypse thing? For some reason, I'm just anti zombie apocalypse right now. I'm like, we got to find something to do besides zombie apocalypse. My paint is getting a little bit too thin. What do you all think of this red? How do you all like this? Is it coming through on the camera pretty good? Are you feeling it? Am I off base here? Is it garbage? It's like, what are you doing with all that red, man? So because I create so many different Minotaur, uh, I make them all shapes, sizes, and colors, just like people. We all come in different shapes, sizes, and colors, right? Oh, okay. That's cool. All right, now I'm into it now. I'm gonna have to check it out. Now I'm into it. You've got my attention. Post your channel and let's see if we can get you some more viewers. I'll definitely check it out. I am a YouTube man. I binge YouTube so much. I'm like, oh my God. Because I can take it with me on my phone. I can take it to the gym. I can put something on while I'm at work. And I went out of bounds too much on this. Oh, he's definitely fighting for something he cares about. And he's stabbing up that dude at the bottom who I haven't painted in yet. But I'm making two versions of this painting. I'm going to have the regular version, and I'm going to have the bloody version. Um, I have fascination with bulls and Minotaur. I am a bull. I'm a Taurus, and and I'm also a dungeon master. And I just have this thing for creatures and Minotaur. And if there's any gamers out there for the D&D world, I have game supplements and adventures to go along with it. But these Minotaur are for my standalone game, Lords of the Labyrinth. How we doing on time? Oh man, I did really good on time tonight. I'm really shocked. Either I'm getting better and faster, or time is getting slower. I think a lot of it has to do with I'm actually planning my workout better now. So by the time I start painting, I know what I want, as opposed to me just trying to wing it and not know what's going on by the time I start painting. And then people are looking at me like, are you going to do something? I'm sitting here trying to think about what I'm going to do. Rufus does stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, promote your stuff. Put the link in there if you got it. Promote your stuff. We're all here to promote each other and help each other out. I'm just painting. I don't have anything for sale at the moment. I'm just painting. So yeah, Rufus does stuff. That is hilarious. Rufus does stuff. I didn't think I was going to be finished by 10 o'clock, but I am. Not finished painting, but finished for uh before I put the highlights in. I'm going to have to let this dry, and I want to do some blending and glazing. Um, and this is coming out really nice. I'm going to hold it up closer to the camera here in a second. Um, I feel like something's crawling on me. Oh my god. Uh, that's, that's not right. Is it, well, if we search Rufus does stuff, does it come up? Oh man, did I miss anything? I'm gonna save the head because I think I want to plan that one out just a little. No, I'm not gonna save the head. I'm going to do the head too. I'm really liking this color, so let's round it out. Let's make it complete. I can still come in with the highlights, and I'm not gonna change the color of the head. I swear something's crawling on me. I think I've got a spider that fell and is on my neck. And if it is, if you all hear me scream and start to freak out, you'll know that there's a spider on me. Although spiders don't bother me too much, unless they're crazy spiders. So I was in the military and I was stationed in the desert for a couple of tours. And I don't know if you ever heard of a camel spider, but those jokers are big as hell. And it's nice to know that you would laugh at me if I scream because the spider's on me. But when people would be sleeping their bunks, some of the guys thought it'd be funny to put a camel spider on their chest. And I was like, if I wake up, I told my tent mates, I like, if I wake up and there's a spider on me, I'm shooting everybody in the tent. I was like, I'm not even playing. I was like, do not mess with me while I'm asleep. But I will say, sometimes it was funny when you wake up because the camel spiders they don't really bother you, and they'll sit there. And if you wake up and you can't, there's not a bunch of good ways to sleep on a cot, but you wake up and there's a big camel spider looking you right in the face, like, "What's up?" Some people jump up, scream. Some of the guys just wake up and they go, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "Wow, that that's way too calm." And I don't think I could be that calm. Although you should expect it. I mean, deployments, people get bored and they just do stuff. But I was like, you all need to just go to the gym. Find something better to do than put camel spiders on people while they sleep. All right. And the muzzle is definitely supposed to be lighter, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway because I want to cover up all the wash. So, some of the areas that I did with the wash are coming out really nice. So, here's a close up view, and I think it came out really nice. I did a wash down here or some glazing down here and down here. I like the way it overlaps, and since it's down on the leg, I wasn't worried about it too much. But I am going to use that same technique up here to get some nice blends. Um, I think it's coming out pretty nice, and I do love that color. I do love that color, and the crimson red is straight out of the tube. The shadows are mixed with the crimson red and violet, and then the deep shadow is crimson red with black. And I think this is a good block in. I really like the way it came out. It gives me something that I can fine tune and really go in detail now. I really like the way the legs came out, and that's where I did most of the experimentation, is down there in the legs, because they're not going to be the focal point. So I can take some of those same techniques and use them up top. So I want to thank Unipoo for the raid. That was fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank everybody who stopped by over the past hour and a half. Everything is just I mean, I love the community here. I'm really satisfied at the way this is coming out. Um and thanks. I'll be doing more painting. So Tuesdays I work on the comic books live. Thursdays I do fantasy painting live, and Saturdays I do pop culture sketch cards. So that's Brad Scott Art. Those are my shows. Uh, Anybody else who has a show, I'll be looking forward to those. And I've got to send Luke Unipu some love. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Lee CK, I'll be looking forward to you. I'm going to find you on YouTube. Peace out.